And good evening, QS2 Nation, and welcome to the Quantum Quick Start for this Sunday night, September 15, 2013. My name is Jim Giannacchio, VP of Marketing for QS2, and we've got a great week planned for you and some great information to share with you as we kick off your week and get you off to that quick start. But first, let's find out what's going on in the QS2 Nation and with the calendar, and we'll check in with our Executive Vice President of Operations, Randy Krogh. Hey, Randy.
Hello, Jim, and yes, we want to make sure everyone here at the company realizes the power of our weekly success schedule. We're going to pull up the calendar here so everybody sees exactly what we do each and every week with very few variations. Folks, we are focused at giving you the proper training you need, and that starts every morning, every weekday morning with the radio show. The Quantum Live radio show is from 10:30 a.m. to about 10:50 p.m., 10:50 a.m., and it is powerful. It's packed with motivation, recognition, all the things that you need to know to grow your business, to get your day kicked off and started. So make sure you're tuning into that each and every morning. Then we have 3 bops each and every week. The 3 national bops are featured on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So get those links in your back office and make sure you send those out to those who you want to
call this the Quantum Quick Start. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday night. Now we turn it over to our CEO out on the West Coast, Mr. Dan Ahmed. Hey, Dan.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Randy. And thanks, QS2 Nation, for joining us on this Quantum Quick Start. We begin our weeks on Sunday, and we do that on purpose because everyone else out there is trying to start their weeks on Monday. And if you try to start your week on Monday, a lot of times Monday is going to be too busy with all the other things you have happening in your life, including your kids, dropping off at school, all those things, so you might not start off your week until Tuesday. So we want to make sure we take just a little bit of time and we start our weeks on Sunday. It gives us time to prepare, think about new things we can focus on, plan out that week, and really strive for success, because as each week goes by, if you don't take every step necessary for your success, you can't catch up. You just cannot catch up. It's an impossibility, so you've lost that week. So at some point you have to stop that wheel turning, and you have to get on, and you have to jump on board and really focus on doing everything you possibly can to make this successful for you and your family. That's really the goal. Today we're going to talk about what we've created, and it's part of the Super Start system that we're working on. The Super Start system, that will be what we're calling our Fast Start our guide, our Quick Start guide. And we hope to have everything to our graphic designer this week as far as the entire package, so they can work on it and make it just a wonderful, a beautiful, powerful package for you to use for every single person that's coming on board. And that's part of our culture. And we talked about this with some of the leaders last week. And really, culture, we think, is vitally important for QS2's growth, for your success, and for us to have a major focus that everyone can grab on. People will call it crusades. It could be a crusade, could be a culture, but it has to be something everyone's focusing on. And in our Super Start system, we're going to guide every single person that comes on, every single new person that comes on, and hopefully every single person that's already joined. We're going to guide them down a path, and the path is going to be the same for everyone. And that's what the Super Start's there for, to make sure we know exactly what has to happen. Well, as part of our Super Start system, you'll see that we now have what we call our QS2 RPM, a rapid promotion model. And Randy Krogh did a great job putting this PowerPoint together. It's already beautiful. You see the tachometer there, and it shows that, you know, you're going to rev it up. Well, our RPM, or rapid promotion model, came up with that because I really want people to rev up their engines. I want them to rev up their lives. I want them to rev up their success. I want it to really just scream like a super fast sports car, revving up as high as you possibly can, and then take off as fast as you can. So you cannot take off fast in a car unless your RPMs are up. Your RPMs have to be up, and they have to be up high. Well, the RPMs gauged by our tachometer, but it really then also stands for us as our rapid promotion model. So we want to make sure we understand this is the fast track to success. And our super start is what's going to really boost this. People are going to come in, we're going to talk about it. They come in as a member. So before we talk about having people come in as associates, but people really come in as a member when they join QS2. Then they can become an associate, they become a marketing director, and they can become a senior marketing director as well. And that's our goal. Our goal is to focus on how do we make sure people get as quickly as they possibly can up our promotion ladder, because that's good for them, it's good for you, and then it's good for QS2. Where's going to be a summary, and then I'm going to go over the details. But the QS2 RPM rapid promotion model starts with, if any new associate comes on, uses the 5-5-25 plan, that means they have 5 recruits and they have 5 field training sales with minimum 10,000 BB points in 25 days, they then become an SMD. So they can become an SMD in less than 25 days. All they have to do is have 5 recruits and 5 field training sales. Well, every single individual has to have 5 field training sales. Otherwise, they are not going to move out of that member status. So they have to have that anyway, even to become an associate. They might as well do it as quick as they possibly can. If instead it takes them 60 days to get their 5 recruits and 5 field training sales, 10,000 BB points in 60 days, they become a marketing director. And if in 90 days they do their 5 field training sales, doesn't matter how many recruits they have, but they have 5 field training sales, minimum 10,000 BB points in 90 days, they now will stay an associate. Because what we're doing is we're going to grant associate status even without the 5 field training sales, assuming that everyone's going to do their 5 field training sales. If they don't do their 5 field training sales in 90 days, then we'll cover that, what will happen as far as our promotion levels. So we want to make sure everyone understands, as a new associate, we're going to believe in you. And your leader, as far as you being a new associate, they're going to believe in you. And the opportunities there, the motivation, the tools for you to succeed at the highest level, they're there, and we know every single person that we bring into QS2 can do this. They can succeed. Well, take a quantum leap. QS2 is providing definitely a new path for everyone that joins the company, and what we want to make sure is they understand this is the quickest path to their initial promotion. Very, very important. I love the graphic there. That little goldfish, he or she's just a little guy and a little one, and they want a little tank. They want to jump up to that big one, and they're going to make it because they have that drive and determination. I just love that picture. Great graphic. Well, the quantum compensation system, we talked about it. Well, what we've added there, before we had an associate level, and the associate level is at 50%. The good thing there is it's the highest starting level as far as compensation out of any of our competitors we know of. But in reality, people join as a member, and we're going to grant them associate status, because an associate, to be an associate, you remember, they have to do 5 field training sales. If they don't do 5 field training sales, then they're not going to be an associate. They're going to have to be a training associate. So an associate means every single person that comes in, the culture is they have to. They have no choice. That's how they become an associate. They don't have to recruit anybody. They don't have to do any business there, but they have to do 5 field training sales. And that's the culture, because as you bring every new associate in, they have to understand they have to qualify for that. And you have to help them qualify for that. If you don't do your job and support them, they're not going to qualify for their 5 field training sales and be able to do that. If you don't have your license as a leader, you can't go out there with them on field training sales, so then you're hurting them. So this really is the culture. We want 5 field training sales, and it's more than one. We're demanding, it's required, it's part of the plan, 5 field training sales out of every single new associate. And if you recruit someone, you better be able to do 5 field training sales with them. If you can't do them, you better be able to have someone that you've designated as your field training designee, and that person has to be able to immediately, day one, help that new member become an associate by doing 5 field training sales. So the rapid promotion level, the fast track to SMD. So we have a member, an associate, marketing director, and then the whole goal is, of course, getting someone to SMD and then NMD as quick as we can. Well, we can do this in 25 days, 5-5-25. So every new person right now who joins QS2, they first are going to become not an associate, but a member. They become a member. So when everyone joins, they fill out their associate's membership packet, rules and regulations, they become a member. Become an associate now, they have to do 5 life insurance field training sales. And we're going to grant associate status for that first 90 days, no matter what. Someone's going to be an associate. So when you come in, you're a member, but we're going to grant that associate status, having confidence that every single new associate is going to do 5 life insurance field training sales with their recruiter. So if you recruit someone, They're going to come in as an associate, and we're going to assume they're going to make those 5 life insurance field training sales with you, and it's your responsibility to make sure you put them through. And again, if you don't have a license, get the license now, because if not, you are hurting every single person you recruit. And if you're not licensed, get your license as soon as possible, and name immediately, name tomorrow, someone who's going to be your designated field trainer. You have to do that. There needs to be a minimum of 10,000 BB points, and then they now would become, that's an associate. But ultimately, as we talked about, we're making sure as soon as someone joins, they become an associate. They're given the associate level position. We want them to see themselves as an associate, not just a member, but an associate. And the 5525 plan we talked about, that's the fastest way to an SMD. In 25 days, you just have to recruit 5 people. And if you're recruiting someone, you have to help them recruit 5 people. You have to help them make 5 life insurance training sales, and they have to have 10,000 BB points. That's it. So someone, instead of being an associate, becomes an SMD just in 5525. They do this. And they become that senior marketing director, one step below executive leadership. And it's a great way to show them they can advance as rapidly as possible. And I want to make sure everyone knows we always give credit where credit's due. The 5525 platform, this initial part of RPM, this has been created working closely with Tony Reyes. He's our exclusive Senior Executive Vice Chairman, and one of his proteges, one of his Vice Chairman, Al Allegre. They helped. They created the 5525. We talked to them. We put it in this plan as part of what we're using for our national promotions for all QS2 associates. So make sure you give Tony a call, give Al a call, tell him thank you. This is part of our program, and they added tremendous value to this. Then there's the marketing director level. Now, let's say someone is not capable of doing their 5 recruits or 5 field training sales in 25 days, which I got to tell you, every single person is capable if you help them, if you push them, if you motivate them, if you make sure they understand that is what they have to do to be successful. Well, let's say for some reason you failed them or they failed you, one of the two. They can still be a marketing director if within 60 days they now complete those 5 field training sales and recruit those 5 people, and they do 10,000 BB points. So they just take twice as long. They'll be a marketing director. They won't be a senior marketing director. Now, they'll become an associate and stay an associate that as long as within 90 days of joining QS2, they complete their minimum 5 field training sales. So if you recruit someone, they don't do 5 field training sales in 25 days. They don't do 5 field training sales in 60 days. They got 90 days. And we're doing this on purpose because what's going to happen, if you do not get every single associate you bring in to your team, if you do not get them active, if you don't get them successful, if you don't get them doing everything they need to be successful within those 90-day time period, they probably will not be with you. They probably will be leaving the business and leaving your team. So we've put everything together for every single possible motivation to get your associates and you to get 5 field training sales in 25 days, which is the best, 5 field training sales in 60 days, which is the second best, 5 field training sales in 90 days, which is the third best. Again, this all has to do with what we're doing, and we're going to focus heavily on creating and maintaining and supporting our culture inside of QS2. We have a culture. It's going to be promoted, it's going to be learned, it's going to be taught, and it's going to be every single call we have, every single webinar, we're going to talk about how our culture is affected by our systems, our platforms, our products. If for any reason, now remember, we've granted associate status to every single new person we're bringing on, but if for any reason they do not complete their 5 field training sales within 90 days, they then will qualify as a QS2 training associate, and they'll be at a 30% compensation level. They then can qualify as an associate as soon as they complete their 5 field training sales, or if for some reason they can't complete their 5 field training sales, they don't, whatever it is, they complete sales and or lead generations of any products or services totaling a minimum of 25,000 BV points. So there's going to be a back door just in case someone says, I'm never going to sell life insurance. I'm only going to focus on health insurance. I'm only going to do this. Well, then they're going to be at a 30% compensation level until they do it. Then when they do those 25,000 BV points, they will be in the associate level at 50%. So QS2 RPM, our rapid promotion model, we're really using this as one of the ways, and as you see our Superstart book come out, you'll see that we are definitely promoting our culture. This is one of the fastest ways, the fast track to senior marketing director. There's our summary, 5 recruits, 5 field training sales, minimum 10,000 BV points in 25 days. You become, or your recruit becomes, a senior marketing director. They do that in 60 days. They become a marketing director. If it takes them 90 days, 5 field training sales, 10,000 BV points, they become an associate. So that is our QS2 RPM rapid promotion model. What I'd like to do is bring on really quickly Jim Giannacchio, and then Mike Gunzik, Randy Krogh, and then end up with Jim Files and get your reaction. It's the first time you saw this. You know the program, but as far as the presentation and what you think this is doing to the culture of QS2 and the success of every one of the associates we're bringing on, and the success of every leader that's bringing on those associates. Jim Giannacchio, you come on first.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Yeah, it really just sets the course for you. I mean, I could picture a driving school with this race course, and you've got the cones to drive in between and around, and the course is set here. It tells you exactly what you need to do in order to get those promotions. So I love it. It's a great fast track. It's very simple, easy to understand, and more importantly, not only can you do it, but you can help coach others to do it as well. I think it's real simple and a real easy plan, the rapid promotion model. Good job, Dan.
Okay, good, bud. And then I want to ask you a quick question on how we've created this. So if you take the past, all the great companies of the past, and now what we've done to modify, to really supercharge it and make it an RPM, does this bring out the best of the past and now bring it current so that we can help every single person succeed?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, you think every time you think you've seen the best, and then this comes out right here. This is light years ahead of what we've done in the past, and this is easily going to put people on track for true success here at QS2, Dan.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those comments, Jim. You've had so much success and experience. I always like to get your viewpoint of it. So thanks a lot. How about Mike Gunzik? Is he available?
Yeah, Dan, I'm here. It's Mike.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
What do you think about RPM, rapid promotion model?
I love it. It's a great way for us to help our team leaders promote and help our people make money. I mean, really, it's what the business is about, is doing a lot of sales and making money from that. And this just gives everybody a path to run along and shows them how to do that rapidly. That's why I love it.
And as Executive Vice President of Sales, how do you like the promotion of the culture that everyone has to do a minimum of 5 field training sales?
Well, I think that is our culture. So I think that it just will allow us to be more successful if everybody understands the culture and knows that that's what it is really. That's just what we do. I mean, that's just part of what we do and who we are, and it just generates a lot of sales.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike. How about Randy Krogh?
Yeah, Dan, what I love about this is that you absolutely get to fast track your way to putting more money in your pocket. That's what QS2 has always been about, is we want to figure out ways to put money into people's pockets very, very quickly. And that's what this is absolutely doing. So if everybody steps up to the plate and perpetuates getting a recruit and getting 5, and then those 5, helping them to get 5, I mean, that's the power behind the model, and it will perpetuate growth and perpetuate putting more money in your pocket. So very, very powerful. And you might want to just add, Dan, that the typical promotion standards means you got to have 4 direct recruits and 12 team recruits. But if you can do it in 25 days, we're lowering the standard to 5, but it's not lowering the standard. It's actually acknowledging your success to get out there and do it very, very quickly.
That's right. We're not lowering the standards. We are accelerating, and we are rewarding efficient, massive action and efficient RPM growth. The faster you do this, the faster you become successful, the faster you follow the system, the more we're willing to reward you at the highest possible level. So great point. How about Jim Files? Why don't you come on, buddy?
Hey, Dan, hi. Dan, all great successful companies establish a culture. And the folks that don't establish a culture end up being, they still may be semi-successful, but they'll have trials and tribulations on that path. And all we're doing, Dan, with this, and it's the fact that it's our foundation for the 3 principles that make up QS2. And that is, we teach people how to make more money, we teach people how to protect their assets, and we teach people how to safeguard their financial future. And that's all this is doing, is setting the foundation. And I talk to people every day around the United States, our leaders, our associates, and often I hear the comment that their leader hasn't taught them, hasn't mentored them. And what this is going to do, Dan, and I know you and I have talked about this extensively, it sets in place the formula that we've had from the beginning here at QS2, but more importantly, it's the foundation of our culture, that we are going to help people, whether you've been successful or you have not been successful in the past, or you've been successful and you've lost lots of money, we're going to restore that. And all this is a simple formula that we started with, but it's promoting that foundation of culture, Dan.
I love it, and that's exactly right. What I'd like to talk about now is something that I wanted to see if anybody would promote yet, and that is really what this is doing, the culture that we're talking about, this rapid promotion model, this 5 field training sales, in addition to internal consumption. What this is creating is the strongest, most impenetrable final filter that you have for every single associate that joins your team, and also for yourself. Because what this is telling you is, in 90 days, it's telling you who is going to follow you, who's going to follow the system, who's going to be part of your future leadership and the future success of QS2. Because think about it, as a leader, as recruiting someone, don't you want to know as soon as possible who is going to be part of your team and who's just there as window dressing, who's going to be part of the leadership, or who's just there for social reasons, or because they're lonely, or because they feel like they need to be involved in a meeting. You need to start taking on the role, the leadership role of filtering people in and filtering people out, not just of your organization, but QS2. We really don't have the time to waste. We don't have the patience. We don't have the motivation to deal with individuals, us, QS2, and you, the field leaders, that aren't going to follow the system. So this is the filter. Wash everything aside. This is the filter. If you recruit someone and they don't do internal consumption, they filter themselves out. Boom, they're gone. If you recruit someone and they don't do their 5 field training sales in 25 days, okay, they fall into second string. If they don't do it in 60 days, they've followed the third string. If they don't do it in 90 days, they're out. You have to filter them, and filtering is one of the most difficult things as a leader you're going to learn, you're going to want to do, and you're going to be capable of doing, because it goes against us being nice people and wanting to make sure everybody is part of what we're doing. Well, guess what? To be successful in this business, everyone isn't going to be here. 89, 90% of the people that you have recruited won't be here 5 years down the road. And you have to understand that you have to help. You have to focus on helping those 11% that are going to do what you request. So they're going to do what you demand. They're going to be part of your team and be part of the success, not part of the wallpaper. Very, very successful. I'm not sure. I thought Kelly had a call, but Kelly, are you on at all right now, bud? Please, I'd like you to come on and say a word. I know he had a call. Wasn't sure if he's done with it. All right, then I'm going to have two people, Jim Janacchio and Jim Files. I'd like Jim Janacchio to come on and just talk briefly and very summarize succinctly about what I talked about, how important it is to use this RPM model as our filter, and how important it is to be very, very strong, ruthless in administering this. Jim Janacchio.
Yeah, good point, Dan. No, I mean, it's very, very important because, you know, it's kind of like this, you know, it's kind of like football season right now. I mean, you know, you have to have a playbook, and you have the playbook to follow, and this is a perfect playbook to follow. You follow it step by step, and you follow through the 30 days, the 60 days, the 90 days, and as you're getting people in on different levels, you know, it's kind of like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Hey, Jim?
Yeah.
Let me focus on one thing I'd like you to go to, because you hit a good point, but I want you to focus on something else. Instead of focusing on the playbook, focusing on having NFL team having 90 people and how they have to cut it down to the people who are going to play and the people that are going to be successful.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right. You know, you get the camps at the beginning of the year. You have 90 players on the team, and you got to cut the team down to actually play and play the regular season and be good and be starters and be backups. And this is your chance. This is your chance to really find out who your true stars are, so that they'll be part of your starting lineup when the season begins. And so this is a great way to weed through and find out who's in, who's out. And like you've been saying, Dan, it's a great system. It's a great filter to filter in the good ones and filter out the bad ones. Dan?
Awesome. Okay, Mr. Files, I'd like to ask you, what would happen if you had an NFL team that had 120 people on the team when you only need 50? You have 120 people, and then the 70 that aren't playing are whining, complaining, not giving their all, not practicing as hard, you know, eating all the food, taking up space in the team meetings. How does that benefit a team versus when you get down to those 50 that really want to do the job and work as a team?
Well, Dan, you know my personality. It would last about 30 seconds. They just wouldn't be there, period. I mean, people are going to complain and be negative. They're not going to be part of the atmosphere that we're trying to create, because we're creating an atmosphere here. And Dan, by the way, for all you folks, Dan and I work out of the same office, our corporate office, and he and I have probably 15 or 20 small meetings every day, 7 days a week. And this is all we talk about, is how do we develop this culture? And that would not be our culture. It would not be. And Dan and I didn't know each other until about 12, 13 years ago. But Dan made his first million in his 20s, and so did I. And it wasn't necessarily because we're the smartest people in the world. Sorry, Dan, I don't mean to insult you, but you are smarter than hell. But it may not have been that we're the smartest people in the world, but what we did do is that we followed our system. We had a system that we followed every single day, and we didn't deviate. We had discipline, and we had perseverance. And we didn't have anything extraordinary. We didn't have anything different than what Dan has described here today. All we did is we put forth 100% effort, and we followed the system. And that's all this is. We're doing nothing less than what we talked about when we started this company, is if we follow our system, we will all be super successful, Dan.
No, I agree, Jim. Thank you very much for those comments. And you said one thing that really leads me to the conclusion of this call, and that is 100% effort. 100% effort means you do everything you can out there as a leader, as an associate, to follow the system to be successful. That's why we created this RPM model. It's just a very small part of everything we're going to come out with our Superstart. We know it's important because you have to now have that business mentality, like Jim was talking about success. You just do it. And you don't allow people to hang around, be part of it, being negative, that aren't going to just do it. It's that simple, literally. You take Art Williams, just do it. There's no excuses. There's no reason for 99%. There's no reason for 10%, 80%, 90%, 98%, 99%. That's just bull. It's all 100% or higher, and that's how you're going to achieve success, and that's how you're going to drive your associates to being successful, which is what's going to build your team. Because you cannot be successful unless you drive your associates to be successful. So when you're doing this, when you're putting them through the mandatory RPM program, mandatory, you're putting them through this, they decide, are they going to be 5.525 in a Superstar? Are they going to be an MD and so-so? Are they going to be a typical average middle-of-the-road associate? And you need to tell them that. You need to say, do you want to be the best you can be? Are you trying to be better than anyone else out there? Are you trying to achieve things that other people aren't capable of? Well, then you need to shoot for this 5.525. And I'm going to thank Tony Reyes, Al Laker for that. They told me about it. We've used it. We haven't promoted as much as we should have. We should have. And now that is becoming one of the main figure points of our entire process. Is Tony Reyes available? I wanted to end with him because this was his program. Is Tony on this call? I know he had a meeting also. All right, we will bring Tony on this week, and he can wrap it up. But everyone, thank you so much for attending. We hope this has been as powerful for you as it has been for us. We loved presenting this. We love the fact that we have such a strong cornerstone to our culture now, and I'm just proud of each and every one of you. I know this is going to help you be the leaders you need to be in the field to bring on the best associates, filter out the ones that aren't going to make it, and truly, truly build that multi-billion-dollar company. Everyone have a great night.